Do you know what the Chinese ambassador did when our government called for an inquiry into the coronavirus? He threatened us. And why? Because he knew our economic dependence on China is like a vein, and if they turn it off, the heart of our economy stops beating. We've placed all our eggs in one basket, and that basket's been made in China. We are vulnerable to diplomatic or economic shocks that we cannot control. Shocks that could come just by running the country in a way that's consistent with our own values. Here, we value the rule of law. We value free and fair elections. We believe in privacy. We believe in freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of speech. This is what we're proud of, because this is the Australian way. But our way of life is being propped up by a country that is hostile to it. It is a recipe for disaster. Our reliance on other countries for our own economic survival has gone way too far. We have to start making things again.
Will cease to exist
because our complacency is putting our country at risk. The government should be buying Australian-made. Government spending comes from Australian taxpayers. That money is coming from the people who live here and work here. We have to restructure our education system. There's nothing wrong with international students coming here. The concern is that this river of gold has left universities too keen to look to the other way and support the interests of their customers instead of the interests of their own customers in their own country. And while universities become more and more dependent on Chinese money, they're inviting the influence of the CCP's surveillance state into domestic campuses. Australian universities are actively collaborating with Chinese firms that have been implicated in a wide range of human rights abuses in China. Chinese students who protest the actions of the CCP on Australian university campuses have received threatening phone calls warning them to not engage in anti-China rhetoric. While the universities were raking in all this money, we've had a systematic underinvestment in our TAFE system for years. TAFE is where people go to get skills they need to make and build things that we need to keep this country running. But the buildings are crumbling and their equipment is so old it's from the Cold War era. We're losing our trades in the name of free trade. We have been signed up to trade agreements that allow foreign companies to sue the Australian government if they pass a law that undercuts company profits.
Tobacco giant Philip Morris has initiated
the tobacco giant's Hong Kong subsidiary says the law breaks a trade deal between the territories.
You and the Liberal Party, you and the Nats and you and the Labor Party, you've all done it. You've all been signing up for it for years. You've sold us off, which is even worse, at bargain price. Take the case of Bellamy's Organic in my home state. They sell milk formula. National food security, I call it. They had been hamstrung for years because they couldn't get approval to sell their product in Chinese stores. They put in an application for this approval to the Chinese government in 2017. They never got it. Instead, our government let the company, an Australian icon, get sold off to a large Chinese business for $1.5 billion. Once we sell off the farm gate, we can't get it back. It's gone forever. We have to take back the wheel, take back our economic sovereignty. Australia needs to start making things right again.